This is a listening exercise. Turn on your closed captioning and just listen. Welcome back to Learn American English online on YouTube. In this video, you will improve your English listening skills by listening to English that is spoken clearly. My name is Paul. It's nice to have you here. Let's learn English naturally. Take a moment to relax. There is nothing you need to do except listen. Listening is very important. This video is not a test. It is not a quiz. It is a listening experience. This kind of video is designed to help you improve your English listening comprehension in a natural way. I'll speak very slowly while reading a script that I wrote for this video. When you listen regularly, your brain begins to adjust to the rhythm of English. You start to recognize common words and phrases. You begin to understand how ideas connect over time. Even if you do not understand everything, your listening skills are improving. Now listen very carefully for this idea. Listening regularly helps you become comfortable with English. I'll say that again. Listening regularly helps you become comfortable with English. Comfort is important. When you feel comfortable, you learn more easily. When you feel relaxed, your brain is more open. That is why videos like this are slow, calm, and repetitive. On the other hand, there are times when we feel uncomfortable when we learn new things. That's good too. That's natural. We are not always comfortable when we learn. Now, let me ask you a question. How do you feel about reading? This video is about listening, but it's also about reading, because reading and listening are closely connected. If you want to improve your English effectively, you should practice both skills. Listening trains your ears. Reading trains your eyes and your mind. Together, they create a strong foundation. Now, listen for these three very important words: books, magazines, and newspapers. These are essential for learning English and improving your reading skills. Today, many people read only short content online. They read social media posts. They read quick messages on their phone. They read short headlines on the internet. This kind of reading is fast and convenient, but it is often shallow. It lacks depth. So let's focus on an important idea. Shallow reading does not develop deep understanding. Shallow reading lacks depth. You need to challenge yourself to read long stories and long articles in magazines, newspapers, and books. When you read only short texts, your brain does not learn complex ideas. You may understand individual sentences, but not longer arguments or stories. This is why it's important to read books, newspapers, and magazines. Books help you follow ideas over time. They teach you how stories develop. They show you how characters change. They allow you to experience English in a deeper and more meaningful way. Newspapers introduce you to real-world language. They help you understand current events. They show you formal and structured writing. They prepare you for professional and academic English. Magazines offer variety. They include different styles of writing. Some articles are descriptive. Some are informative. Some are persuasive. This variety helps you expand your vocabulary and comprehension. Magazines can surprise you with new vocabulary and current trends in English slang. Reading longer texts improves your ability to think in English. At first, many learners translate everything. They think in their native language and then translate into English. This takes time. It can feel slow. But as you read more, something begins to change. You start to recognize patterns. You begin to understand meaning directly. You start to think in English. This is a major step forward, and it happens gradually through consistent exposure to new and familiar words. Reading in English forces you to think in English. Once you begin to think in English, speaking in English becomes easier. Now, as you continue listening, notice how the ideas are connected. Notice how one idea leads to another. This is an important listening skill, understanding not just words, but connections. Now listen to what I am about to say because this is very important. You do not need to understand everything to improve your listening and your reading skills. I'll repeat that. You do not need to understand everything to improve your listening and reading skills. When I practice listening and reading in German, I accept the idea that I won't understand everything. That's okay. This is one of the most important ideas in language learning. If you wait to understand everything perfectly, you may never feel ready. Instead, focus on progress. Focus on exposure to all of the words, new words, and familiar words. Focus on consistency, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Now, let's think about your daily routine. Where can you practice listening? While driving? While walking? While relaxing at home? And when can you practice reading? In the morning? Before you go to bed? During a break? You do not need a lot of time. Even 10 or 15 minutes a day is enough. Short periods of consistent practice leads to long-term improvement. Now let's talk about how to read in a more effective way. First, choose material that matches your level, or it's material that is just slightly above your level. It should be understandable, but not too easy. You should recognize most words, but still learn something new. Second, read at a comfortable pace. Do not rush. Slower reading often leads to better comprehension. Third, do not focus on every single word. Some words are not essential. Try to understand the general meaning. Fourth, read out loud. Reading out loud allows you to listen to yourself speak English, and it provides good physical exercise for your mouth and your tongue. By reading out loud, you can practice reading and speaking English at the same time. Understanding the main idea is more important than understanding every word. As you read more, you will begin to notice repetition. You'll begin to notice certain patterns. Words appear again and again. Sentence structures repeat. This repetition helps your brain learn naturally. For example, you might see, "He walked to the store," or "She walked to work," or "They walked together." Without studying grammar rules, you begin to understand the past tense when you hear it and when you read it. This is natural learning. This is how you can learn English naturally. Now, let's combine listening and reading. One powerful method is to listen and read at the same time. You can use an audiobook. You listen to the speaker and follow the text. You can find audiobooks on a CD, a DVD, or on the internet, on YouTube. Audiobooks help you connect sound and meaning. An audiobook can help you improve pronunciation, and it can help strengthen comprehension. Listening and reading together will accelerate your learning. Reading is everywhere. If you live in a country where English is the first language, look around. You may see signs. You might see store names. You'll probably see advertisements. When you go out to eat, you'll read from a menu. Reading is not limited to books. It is part of daily life. But remember, for deeper learning, you should also read longer materials, such as books, newspapers, and magazines. What do you usually read in English? Short texts or longer materials? What is one small change you can make? Maybe you can read a few pages of a book today. Maybe you can read one article from a newspaper. Small changes like these can lead to big results. Now, listen carefully as we review the key ideas. Listening regularly improves comprehension. Reading longer texts improves understanding. You do not need to understand everything. Consistency is more important than perfection. Practice reading out loud when you have the opportunity. I'll say one more thing about this. So listen carefully. Reading builds knowledge. Listening builds familiarity. Together, they help you build fluency. As we come to the end of this video, take a deep breath and relax. You are learning. You are improving. You are improving step by step, day by day. Continue to listen and continue to read. and most importantly, stay consistent. Thank you for listening to Learn English Naturally on Learn American English Online on YouTube.